So, like, for example, in the first 2 fights, I'll have the Force Your Way remix playing. And then in the last 2 fights, I'll have the Leviathan and Titan remixes playing. No, the guy, that's just footage for the guides. We haven't even started making the guides yet. That's what we're about to start doing, though. Guide making guides. Did my title update properly? Let's see. Wow, the Eden 4 one's taking a lot longer. Let me get a document open. Call it Eden Normal Guides. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What, Tequila? Oh, okay. I don't know why I didn't even think. I was talking to myself. I didn't even think I was going to get an answer back on that. Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my guide. Oh yeah, let me get the text up on the screen so you guys can see it. Alright, let's grab this. Go over into watch mode. Alright. No, normal modes are never hard, Zara. There's a few things the Duty Finder I'll have limited faith in the Duty Finder doing properly, but that's a different story. I always have limited faith in the Duty Finder. I find your lack of faith disturbing. Really? I find my lack of faith keeping me alive. Holy shit, why is this so blown up? No, I gotta fix that. Transform, reset, transform. There we go. Sorry, I'm just getting the text document open, and you guys don't need to see all the other shit. Alright, there we go. Okay. So, with that, let me just get the opener. Hey everyone, Mr. Happy, welcome my guy to Eden, what's it called? Resurrection? Dude, all these sound like early 2000, late 90s, early 2000, like, sequel they stopped numbering titles. Eden Resurrection. Eden Inundation. Eden Sepulture. You need movie guy's voice. Probably not, Corey. Eden Descent. You can already hear movie guy. This summer, Reen, Thancred, and Urianger venture to save the world of Norvrant. Eden Reloaded. This is the Matrix? In a world where Titan is a car, and Leviathan has 2 heads. How did you even imagine it like that? That's nothing like the original. A mysterious woman, shrouded in darkness. She's the same age as you, Reen. Oh, I'd surely like to get to know her. Their adventure begins, and then continues 7 months from now. Eden Resurrection. There you go. Eden 2, Son of Eden, The Return and Revenge of Eden. There you go. Do the trailer, do the voice. Hey everyone, I just sound like Piccolo, which makes sense for a guide, to be fair. Just needs more raspiness. Hey everyone. There, now I've got the Piccolo guide. Let's see. This can be unlocked after finishing the 5.0 main scenario quests and grabbing the quest. Let me get the name. Dodge! God damn it. Now I'm gonna be thinking. Now when I'm recording it, I'm gonna be thinking about it. You're gonna ruin this. In the middle of nowhere and grabbing the quest. In the middle of nowhere from the Anxious Crystarium Guard near the Aetheryte in the Crystarium. There we go. Make 2 versions. I mean, at that point, I still need to do my John Madden ones. Hey, folks, John Madden here, and today we're going to teach you how to eat normal AoEs everywhere. You just got to avoid those. You place one here, you place one there. One aims that way, one aims this way. You just, dodge it and heal it. You good. Yeah, good. Roll on the loop. There you go. Yeah, I always said if I ever did the John Madden guide, I need a telestrator. You need to just, like, freeze the frame and, like, circle shit and, like, draw arrows. Open up the butter packet. Hey, guys, the packet won't open. Can we get a butter packet? The Quick Pop popcorn popper. I always spell the word resurrection wrong. I always spell it with 2 S's and 1 R. Luckily, I have the correct version right there. Once you finish a few cutscenes and have a minimum item level of 425, you'll be able to resurrection. A specific. Use the timestamps in the description. See, I can type fast, but I'm gonna screw some up here and there. This boss, Eden Prime. I want to put a spoiler warning. Oh, and spoilers ahead. This is your warning. Obviously. Obviously. Alright, in Prime, split into... Alright. Now I gotta actually, like, press play on this. And just call things as I say it. Phase 1 is fairly straightforward, with Eden showing you each mechanic separately before combining them. A theme that is constant the rest of the encounters. There we go. I was like 800 gigabytes. I'm sorry, not 800 gig. Jesus Christ, 800 megabytes. Dude, if a patch was 800 gigabytes, it better have added like every Final Fantasy that's ever existed, and like 17,000 pixel resolution, but not Blitzball. Spear of Paradise is a multi-hit tank buster. So mitigate. The multi-hit tank buster. So mitigate as you would. Eden's gravity is room-wide damage. Mitigate and heal that. Alright, what's the name of that again? Vice of Apathy? Alright. Eden will occasionally target the 4 DPS with Vice of Apathy, which hits them for damage in an AoE around them, and leaves behind a gravity, if I could fucking type, puddle. The player steps in the puddle, it draws them to the center, deals damage, and slows their movement speed. You know what's funny? I used to use the word heavy in guides a lot, and people kept thinking when I used the word heavy, they didn't understand. So then I tried saying slow their movement speed, and people said, "Oh, but it's so the boss gives you a slow." But I'm attacking at the same speed, and I'm like, I hate everything. I just hate everything. At this point, people should know what the fuck each one means, but it does not work out that way. And heavy them. Snare. Well, snare can be more than one thing, though. Snare could be a bind, also. It's pretty much a non-specific means of doing that. Place these out of the way and don't overlap the AoEs. Once these go off, the boss will do a donut AoE, so get under their body. Is it really a donut? I guess it is a donut, because donuts imply you could get far away, too. Which you kind of can't do. You can't do this at all. I mean, it's still just... Yeah, it's still just donut term. Oh, you know, yeah, I actually... Yes, I should mention... I think in this one, there's footage. Oh, you know what? I should actually mention that here. Oh, and watch the wall. That kills you, by the way. I think I kill myself to the wall, like, in about 60 seconds. Oh, and watch the wall. That kills you, by the way. The big donut. Dude, but now I want the actual... I want the munchkins. Alright, was there anything new between Vice of Apathy and that? Did it do the double laser? There, yeah, it does. It does it right here. For Vice plus Donut AoE. Oh, I guess I can't call it Vice. I should call it Apathy. After Apathy and Donut AoE, Eden uses Vice and Virtue, aiming a line tank buster at each tank. They should keep the... They should keep these lines away from other players and each other, while also mitigating the hit. Pure Light, I think, is right after Spear of Paradise, yeah. Occasionally, Eden teleports to a corner of the room to cast Pure Light. This, I want to say, is lethal, because it definitely killed me, but I don't know if you can tank privilege that. I'll just say, this hits everything in front of Eden for massive damage. So get behind Eden anytime you see it cast them. I'll have to make note of the other one in a second. Yeah, I'll just say it deals massive damage. Safer just to not even talk about it killing you. Just don't get hit by it. After the first Pure Light, Eden uses Delta Attack. Eden teleports to the center. Teleports back to the center and uses Delta Attack. Does a bunch of... This does a cross AoE, a point blank circle AoE, and puts AoEs on all the players. Stay out of the bad and don't overlap with each other. Bam, done. Alright. Just drop their health to 0 and win. I mean, not inaccurate. Not inaccurate. Just don't get hit. Final mechanic for phase 1 is dimensional... What was it called? Dimensional what? Dimensional shift. It'd be nice if I learned how to spell dimensional. Shift. This does some damage. This does... Notice it does decent damage to the party and summons 8 portals around the room. Line AoEs will fire out of these portals randomly at different party members. I've had 3 aim at me at once, and sometimes none several times in a row. At the same time, a bunch of circle AoEs also get aimed randomly. We tried to find a pattern to them, and I'm sure that if you look really deep, there is. But at least on normal mode, I thought it was always targeting the DPS. I went healer, had one. It might be 2 DPS, 1 healer, 1 tank that has it. But it's probably better to just, you know... No, because even here, I got some on me. I had that one on me. I had that one on me, and then it just abandons me. No, E4 actually doesn't require that much movement. In the parts where you do, you can actually use Xenoglossy and triple cast pretty effectively. And you have triple for every dimensional shift, yeah. Black Mage doesn't have... Black Mage is all about knowing when to use triple and not just popping it because it's a DPS gain. I think we can guess it too. Solid. Like, as I was doing the fights, having just leveled Black Mage, I was immediately thinking, okay, how would I do this as a Black Mage? I found E4 actually wasn't that bad. There were a lot of points, like, for the first, like, 20-30%, I barely needed to move. It was really just the forced knockbacks that were kind of unfortunate. And Surecast not working on some of them while working on others, eh. Nope. That is not till Savage comes out, guys. Alright. While these are firing at your group, Eden will teleport to a corner, begin casting Pure Light. Wait until... I guess I should find an exact timing there. Because obviously I'm trying to tell people not to immediately rush for behind me. Yeah, let me just type that. Don't immediately rush to the back of the boss. Because all that will do is aim all the AoEs there and make it a bit of a cluster. After you dodge a couple of... until the cast bar is about half finished and you've just dodged an AoE to get behind Eden, and you should be safe. There we go. And then it should be a dimensional shift back, and then the actual Fragus Maximus. Yep. I just used the word cluster. I don't ever use the F word in any of my guides. This Eden will do another dimensional. I always added it. I don't know why I typed that T there when I know it's not there. So casting. Let me get the spelling on this correctly. There's the dimensional shift. Oh, it's so good. I mean, dash cheesing anything feels so good. Fragor Maximus. Fragor Maximus. Party damage and enters a short ad phase. And enters a short ad phase. Phase is simple. Kill the 2 Guardians of Paradise within roughly 45 seconds. Paradises? No, just Paradise will do. Not parasites. Paradise. No plural. With a space, please. Eden's ad phase simple. Kill 2 Guardians of Paradise within roughly 45 seconds. And keep mitigation rolling. They do a Tank Buster. Then Mana Burst, I think it's called. Tank Buster, Mana Burst, Tank Buster, Mana Burst, double Tank Buster, and Rage. You do a Tank Buster. You do a Tank Cleave, I should say. An instant Tank Cleave. An instant Tank Cleave. Then Mana Burst for party damage. then another cleave, then another mana burst, then 2 cleaves, then enrage with Unto Dust. Oh, you know what? I should mention that they, when they spawn, they do proximity damage, but after that, they aren't much threat. Have each tank pick up 1 and keep mitigation rolling with 2 L's, by the way. They do an instant tank cleave, then mana burst, then another cleave, then another mana burst, 2 cleaves, then enrage with Unto Dust. They aren't very tough. They don't even tether if they get too close. So they are dead. Eden will use Eternal Breath, which is very pretty, and send you back to the normal arena. What's going on, Nightwinds? How you doing? It's probably the I'm predicting. Alright, so it starts immediately. Phase 2 of Eden is just more of the stuff you did in Phase 1. Bison Virtue, Spear of Paradise. Yeah, I think at this point, Delta attack. I don't think there's anything different about the later phase. Like, there's literally not a single thing different. It's just that the rotation starts with Vice and Virtue. Oh, I should actually change, because Vice and Virtue can either be the spread or... Dude, on Savage, it's going to be both. And then Eden's Flare. Okay, I didn't even name Eden's Flare. This is E1, yeah. We'll occasionally cast Vice and Virtue, which does one of 2 things in a set pattern. First, we'll target all 4 DPS with an AoE, which hits them for damage. Okay. We'll use Vice Versa again. This time aiming a line tank buster at each tank. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's gonna be both. And the healers are gonna have, like, some other shit, Yuki. Who knows? Actually, the healers will probably have AoEs there, too. Got myself some OJ. Phase 2 of Eden is just more stuff you did in Phase 1. Spear, Pure Light, Delta attack, Dimensional Shift, and Dimensional Shift. Then it just loops infinitely. Sorry, but the Final Fantasy XIV version's better now. And it just loops infinitely. Had a friend tell me they sat there for 20 minutes without enraging. Not sure I believe that entirely. Sorry, Gwen. Not sure I believe that entirely, but it's a very generous enrage, if at all. Listen, Gwen, what if it's 21 minutes and you waited there 20 minutes? Yeah, normal mode usually does just loop. There's very few fights on normal that have hard enrages, now that I think back to it. There's a couple, but... Yeah, it's like the 24-mans. Like, the 24-mans, unless a mechanic specifically calls for an enrage, they pretty much just loop infinitely. It just loops infinitely. No enrage. I'll just put it in there. The loot from Eden Resurrection. See, I always do it with 2 S's instead of 2 R's. Let's see. Eden Prime drops 8 tokens you can exchange for gear in either Yulmore or Mordsuk. Drops 1 of every token except... Wait. I'm gonna ask you guys in a second, but... Head? Boots don't drop in 4, I know that. Is it all of them except head? Why don't I just look? I have the fucking loot table. Literally just click. Oh, no, that's the head right there. Damn. Alright, here we go. Legs, boots, bangles, belt, head, body. So hands aren't here. Hands. Yeah, hands aren't here. Except for gloves. And we'll drop multiples of some of drop 1 of every token except for the gloves, with some dropping multiple. You can also randomly get a bonus chest with the Orchestrion roll for the boss fight, bosses battle theme, right from Final Fantasy VIII. Until later in the 5.x series, probably around late 5.1, the tokens will be restricted to 1 per boss per week. I don't know, the comma, I don't know what. 1 per boss per week. And that's it for that one. For more information, please check the 5.01 patch notes. And that's going to be that, and then it's the thank yous and blah, blah, blah. Is that per piece of equipment or per body? What do you mean? It's 1 piece of loot, other than the Orchestrion roll, which I should clarify, per boss per week. Yeah, there's a vendor in Yulmore and a vendor in Mordsuk. Oh, I said the tokens. So if somebody asks, the bosses were Eden Prime, Voidwalker, Leviathan, and Titan. Yeah, Heavensward story is amazing. A Realm Reborn is all groundwork, and then Heavensward and... Oh, hey, thanks for the gifty boy, Gatsu. I gotta mark that down. Still doing my sub-gift matches. Gulgul and Yul, Yuki. It's Gulgul and Yul. Easy to remember. Alright, that's it for that one. So, Eden normal. I like that the whole time I've been doing this, I'm sure you guys have noticed on the stream, it's just been a Franker-faced scene down here the whole time. Thank you for the gift. Got to. It's just been a Franker-faced scene just chilling down here the whole time. Oh, Franker Z. Thank you. Okay, let's do second fight now. We're gonna do all the scripts first, that way we can go and do all the recordings after that. 450. Know it by the time they get to that point, but for eye level 450 here's more at Yul or Mordsuk at Yul. story behind Leviathan and Titan is fairly interesting. How we ended up at such a weird imagination for Titan blows my fucking mind. What's going on here, man? Alright, and then we can copy this and change this to say descent. It's gonna be unlocked after completing Eden Resurrection and completing the quest that follows. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me grab this. Yeah, I'll just delete this. After beating Eden Resurrection and completing the quest that follows. Yeah, dude, I think that Minstrel Wander has been a bad influence on us. He's like, yo, you want to imagine some crazy shit? Yo, check this fucking weed we got right here, man. It's a unique Final Fantasy XIV boss, Andrasian. It's actually one of our main characters, Gaia. But they didn't really go too much into her place, except for what she actually is, which is fairly interesting. They're pretty substantially different, Ironbiter. And at the same time, oddly familiar. You're breathtaking. Yeah, warrior like, yo, what if Titan? What if he had a go-kart? Okay, yo, just imagine if he had a go-kart. Okay, just stay with me here. All right. That's how they got to that. He's got that long pull. Oh, okay. Anyway, I'm supposed to be writing this shit down. Alright, we gotta adjust this. Okay, you'll be all set to enter. Oh, I forgot I gotta change it. Descent. I changed it, but then I undid the change, so. Descent. And also, Voidwalker. I mean, they're normal mode fight stitches. They're not even, that's not even really worth a topic ever on normal modes. Okay. So it's Dominion Slash is the ability we're looking for. No, Shadow Keeper is a tank buster. Okay. First of all, yes, you can fall off. Has some fairly... Alright, I'm not even going to bother with the fluff text. Alright, let's see. First of all, yes, you can fall off. Voidwalker... main attacks for you to Voidwalker starts the fight with showing you his basic mechanics before combining them. Showing you his basic mechanics before combining them later. Doom Void Guillotine does a line bacon AoE. To step out of. After it hits, it also summons a line of Void Scent that travel perpendicularly outward. Stay out of their path, lest you be vulned. Lest you be, is it really? See, that person just has infirmity. I'm pretty sure it's just infirmity for being hit by it. No, that person had a vuln. Oh, no, the bacon gives you the vuln, and the other dudes just give you the infirmity. Yeah. Yeah, because Gwyn was AFK here. That's why you got that. So, well, he was AFK because I didn't see that he said, hold on 1 second. Lest you be given a debuff that decreases healing received. Doom Void Slicer makes a bacon donut AoE that is followed by 4 Void Scent traveling inward towards the boss. Stay out of their path again. What do you want, Aloha? What are you meowing at? Get in here. Your food's in here. Okay. Shadowkeeper next? Shadow Flame, sorry. Shadowkeeper's very different. It's both tanks with a tank buster, so mitigate accordingly. Entropy, I know, is the room-wide. Is a room-wide AoE, so treat that accordingly as well. It's funny because you haven't even done entropy yet. Next, Voidwalker will show you 2 different AoEs you've likely seen before. One is a bunch of... One marks Dark Flame 3, I think it was called. Dark Fire 3. Dark Fire 3. Hi, Aloha. Places AoEs on players to spread out. And... what's that one? Unholy Darkness. Unholy Darkness is a split damage AoE to stack up for. The trick is Voidwalker's Spell in Waiting ability. This causes Voidwalker's next spell to happen on a delay. Let's see. This causes Voidwalker's next spell to happen on a delay. If this fight is to... make sure you're not... Nah, whatever. I don't like this. I don't like this flavor text. I got a hard time coming up with flavor text for this. I mean, yeah, dude, I write, like... I write, like, several page essays on this shit pretty much every day. Hi, gaming! This stream's only on a 2-second delay. That's bullshit.
You know what else is on a delay? This stream, Kappa.
Thanks, gaming. Thanks, man! Spell in waiting to happen on a delay. First couple here are just for show. Spread out the dark fires and stack for unholy darkness. Later, though, the delays come with other mechanics. Alright. Yeah, I was gonna say, because you have the debuff for it. And the debuff wearing off comes out of the mechanics. Contract the timer with the debuff you get, but there is also a dice marker over players' heads that counts down as it's getting closer. Let's see. Yeah. Alright. Oh, I can't wait. I mean, the first and second fight usually aren't too bad on Savage, but you never know. Sometimes people just can't get things that don't happen instantly. Like, they think about it too much. They're like, alright, I'm in the here and now, but you need to be in the 5 seconds from now. What's the Hand of Erebos actually called? Well, I mean, that's the name of the ability, I mean. Empty Hate. Okay. Right after introducing each of them separately. Three players will be marked with Darkfire 3 and one with Unholy Darkness. 3 Darkfire players. These all resolve at the same time. These all resolve at the same time, so the 3 Darkfire players go away from the group, and the remaining 5 split the Unholy Darkness. I mentioned that they do a cross, but I guess I could say that I could just make mention the Voidwalker AoEs are based on the actual position of the boss. So it's like, because it's cardinal directions from the boss. Always the front, the back, the left, and the right flank. It's not like static no matter where the boss is facing. Thanks, Amorlian.
GL with your videos.
Thank you. Marlian, these are for you. Let's see. These Void Scent and their paths spawn based on the boss, with the Slicer Void Scent always appearing from the boss's front, rear, and each flank. What up, Tangy? The hot dogs! I don't know what we're talking about, Strawberry. Now I want, all you've done to me is make me want hot dogs. That's all you've done is make me want hot dogs. Gulgul or Yul Yul in Yulmore or Mordsuk. Oh, I don't remember that shit. So I played Final Fantasy VIII was 4 years ago, and I haven't committed hot dogs to memory. Alright. Okay, then, the next new mechanic is the Hand of Erebos. It simply does a powerful knockback from whichever side the hand is on. Knockback immunity works here, but otherwise get as close to the edge of the arena as possible to prevent being slung off the side. This will now start happening with Doom Void AoEs. after start being combined with other mechanics. First, it will be combined with Doom Void AoEs, and eventually another spell in waiting. Oh, not even a spell in waiting AoE. What are these called? Because aren't these spawned by Entropy? Doesn't Entropy technically spawn the Punishing Rays? And then when he does it later, and when he does Spell in Waiting... No, yeah, because he eventually... No, I'm just thinking of a different thing. Yeah, because he does Spell in Waiting later. And it, ends up tying together with a lot of that shit. Here, let me go check later. What's up, Remedy? At this point, we're... Sorry. Important things started happening. No, boss just does it. Just summons Punished Rays. Okay. Eventually with another mechanic. Punished Ray. Punished Ray simply requires one player stand in each of the small circles that spawns before the attack resolves. Light damage to those standing in them, but if players miss one, they receive a stacking... Oh, I actually have to go back. Does that stacking debuff just insta-kill you if you get too many stacks? I remember it saying it was like a curse. Well, yeah, the bleed is the damage that you take from that. The other damage that I took from stepping in was from the auto attack. It was just 2,000 damage. Makes you take more damage? Okay. Yeah, I had to go back and read it. Yeah, because I did hover over it at some point. That's Leviathan. Yeah, because we got it the first time we pulled, I think. I just hovered over it right there for a brief second. That's unfortunate, little. Yeah, because I think people die here. One dies. I think right after this Doom Void Slicer we get it, and I hover over it very briefly. I just want to get an exact read on it to make sure I don't miss anything. Oh, that thing's fucking easy mode now, Etheria. Alright, yeah, so it'll be coming right about here. You just resize the action bar. Attorney. I always love when I tell people who skip the cutscenes. Want to know the funniest thing about people who don't know where the Diabolic Curse on? Let me hover over it real quick. Yeah, damage taken is increasing. Okay. The story cutscenes legit tell you the exact names and locations of the NPC. So I can tell when people skip the cutscenes. It's pretty funny. Yeah, you can also hold control and press home for resizing AI elements. That's true of all AI elements, pretty much. Hold control, press home. Increases damage taken. Yeah, I mean, smile. Look what's on the screen. It's not exactly avoidable. You know what I mean? He sure is. And I've already fed him, babe. He's just being extra annoying for no reason. Okay. I mean, other than that, I pretty much hit every AoE. Oh, Shadow Eye, that's the one. I was like, I haven't mentioned something. I don't know what, but I know I haven't mentioned something. Yeah, he was doing that to me earlier. He just got too much energy. He wants to play. Party members should avoid looking in the direction of the player with the Shadow Eye AoE, or the spell-in equivalent of it. Now that we've covered every AoE, second half of the fight combines them in a set pattern. I guess I need to determine when that technical second half... I guess it technically begins after the first hand of Erebos. Because then you go into these Shadow Flames, and then from this point on, you've got this. Punishing Rays, followed by a spell in Unholy Darkness and spell in Dark Fire. Unlike the previous one, all 8 players can stack for this Unholy Darkness, and the Dark Fire AoEs can spread after the split. And 4 spell in Dark Fires. For the Duty Finder here. Spread out early. Was that the Erebos into Punishing Ray? We already mentioned Erebos into Doom Voids and Punishing Rays. Usually until sometime during the 5.1 period, 4 spades. So about 5.5 months as a minimum, I'd expect. Only other real combo here is spell in Shadow Eye plus, let's see, I gotta remember exact. Plus, I think it's plus double Doom Void. Guillotine first and Slicer second. The person with the Shadow Eye can stand towards the outer edge of the safe zone during Slicer, while the rest of the party stands further in the hitbox and makes sure they are faced away. Yeah, I say it. Now we've covered every way AoE the second half of the fight combines them in a set pattern. Punishing Rays followed by Spell in Unholy Darkness and 4 Spell in Darkfires. Unlike the previous one, all 8 players can stack for this Unholy Darkness, and then the Darkfire AoEs can spread after the split. Mitigation here can help for the Duty Finder in case players with Darkfires spread out early. No, it's not 4 spades. It's the same every time. At the beginning of the fight, they give you 3 Darkfires and 1 Unholy, and those resolve at the exact same time. Everyone after that is stack in, then spread. Like, I did it like 6 times. If it's random, then I have gotten so much confirmation bias, it's absurd. Actually, you know what? On the very first pull, it might have gone opposite. Now I gotta rewatch that very first pull. I think on the very first pull, I might have seen it gone opposite once. And since then, I've done it 4 more. I've done the fight 5 times total, not 6 times. 5 times total. And it's gone the other way. Every time. Yeah, see? There it is again. Yeah, let's grab this. Like I said, I think on the first kill, if I recall correctly, it might have happened. No, that's Leviathan. Here's stack then spread. Well, that's off to a very predictable start. Good morning, Manaveru. Oh god, I gotta zoom in. Cuts way too much time out when I do that. Stack then spread. So it was stack then spread. I just keep getting it. I need any sort of visual example that it can happen the other way. I literally then, if it didn't happen in this pull, then it literally in 5 pulls never went the other way. Yeah, I've literally never had it go the other way. Well, the first one is always set in stone. The first one is they resolve at the same time. The first one is 3 Darkfires and 1 Unholy. And they all resolve at the same time. It's not even stack then spread. It's not even spread then stack. It's they all resolve at the same time. It's 5 people split, 3 people spread. And then every time after that, I had the exact same order with Unholy resolving first. I'll just add, I've heard rumors it can go the other way, but in hours of doing it, I never experienced that. I'll just throw that in there, cover my own ass. It's 1 sentence, but in the hours of doing it, I never experienced that. Cover my own ass. And other than that, I'm done. I just realized I'm done with the whole fight. I explained every mechanic. The only combination mechanics are the Erebos one, so Erebos into Doom Voids and Erebos into Punishing Rays. Unholy Darkness into Darkfires, Spell in Darkfires. And Shadow Eye plus Doom Voids. I think that's pretty much everything. I mean, it's Shadow Eye to show you it naturally, and then it's Spell in Shadow Eye. Yeah, the minion drops in the last one. I rolled a 99 on the minion. Too bad that's not a fucking mount. About the same as Omega Normal. Normal modes are all approximately the same. There's a lot of falling off here and knockbacks, and I have trust issues with the Duty Finder, and when it comes to knockbacks and falling off, so that weighs heavy on my soul. Oh yeah, I think that's everything. Am I missing anything, guys? Okay. I'm gonna list everything off to you guys. Give me a fact check here. Doom Void Guillotine, Bacon Line AoE, add spread out perpendicularly, and an alternating travel perpendicularly outward in an alternating pattern. Stay out of their path. Doom Void Slicer, Donut AoE, Bacon Donut AoE, 4 Void Scent traveling inward from the boss. At the boss's cardinals, always in front, rear, and both flanks. Flame hits both tanks with a tank buster. Entropy is room-wide AoE damage. Darkfire 3 is spread AoEs. Unholy Darkness is stack AoEs. Spell in Waiting delays them. The first time they resolve at the same time. 3 Darkfires, 1 Unholy Darkness. Then Hand of Erebos is a knockback. Hand of Erebos can happen at the same time as Punished Ray or Doom Void AoEs. Punished Ray, I explained what that is. Then Shadow Eye, Petrification, outward from the marked target. And then the combos are Punished Ray plus Spell and Unholy plus 4 Spell and Darkfires. Stack for Unholy, spread out. Darkfires, in that order. And then Spell in Shadow Eye and double Doom Void. With it being Guillotine first, followed by Night. I'm pretty sure that's everything. I don't think I'm missing anything. That sounds like I mean, we just rewatched it in front. I'm pretty sure that's everything. Sounds like everything to me. Yeah, the only tank buster is the Shadow Flame, huh? Yeah, he doesn't have, like, just a straight-up single-target tank buster. Yeah, that's everything. Okay, that's the script for Eden Normal 2. I just have to change the loop description. Void Walker drops 8 tokens in exchange. It drops 1 of every token with one dropping a multiple. With one random one dropping a duplicate. And then you can also get Force Your Way. Can you get You can't get Force Your Way from the third fight, can you? And you don't get I'd imagine you don't get the Leviathan remix from the third fight either. If you do, holy shit. I mean, it doesn't matter for this one, I guess. Eden Normal 3. Alright, copy and paste this and change the requisite names. This is Inundation. Inundation, if I'm not mistaken, on my spelling. Okay, you can get the E3 and E4. Okay, I just need to know that for the next port coming. I guess I can actually leave it the same then, the boss's theme. I'll just say the boss's battle theme. I'll do that way it's easier to copy paste. The boss Leviathan. This can be unlocked after clearing Eden Descent and the quest that follows. 425 to enter. Okay, so that's that one. So let me grab my Leviathan footage. Yes, I got it, Gwen. I did get it, Gwen. Leviathan will auto attack both tanks. Yeah, it's both tanks, because I don't think we were 1 and 2 on aggro here. No. Tanks 3rd on aggro and still getting auto. Yeah, so it's just both tanks. Alright. Let's see. Leviathan will auto attack both tanks. so long as they are both alive. If one dies, both auto attacks will hit the remaining tank. So watch the damage from these. You have a go on, Gwen. Thanks for the footage. Tidal Roar is room-wide damage. And Rip Current is a hard-hitting line tank buster. Main tank should aim this away from the roof. When our main tank died, they just got 2 sets of auto attacks, Kazlo. That's weird. Here, I have that footage here, I want to say. I think everyone died here at some point. Everyone got knocked off the center. Generally, body and legs hold priority. I think everyone dies here. And then, including both the tanks, die here. Yeah, so it's still auto-attacking them. There goes one tank. Actually, it did look like an auto-hit Gwyn there. Oh, auto's definitely... Oh, no, both tanks are dead. And both autos are just hitting Gwyn right now. Yeah, see how, well, that time it aimed for a second person. I don't think it knows how to operate. Well, yeah, I'm working on the guides for it. Yeah, see, there's one tank alive here and both... Yeah, I mean, you can see both auto attacks are going for the main tank here. See? Look. Boop. You know what I'll do? I've seen what looks like stray auto attacks. It might start being aggro based. It might be one for the highest aggro and one for any alive tank. That's always possible. Because when Gwyn... Here, let me go back to when Gwyn takes the autos. So Gwyn's taking autos right there. So he takes 2 autos. 2 autos again. One hit somebody else. No, he's 5th on aggro. And then literally as soon as the tank is alive, it starts on double auto. Yeah, I don't know. It certainly... Well, it's not that way when you start the fight. Because our tank was 3rd and 4th on aggro. So we're talking about a situation where only the tank dies. And that wouldn't make sense. Because our summoner was then eating 2 auto attacks. Until they died from one, and then it started targeting somebody else. Even our summoner is taking both auto attacks simultaneously. And then when our tank is dead, only the tank is taking both auto attacks. There's only one instance there. Yeah, it's probably highest aggro and other tank. So if like a DPS technically has highest aggro, they'll get the auto attacks. And then the other tank, because it automatically targets an alive tank with the second head. Yeah, it's just main aggro plus other tank, essentially. Main aggro plus other tank. Well, auto attack, yeah. Will auto attack Leviathan. Will auto attack the highest aggro plus a tank. If both tanks are alive and have aggro, this is simply both tanks. If one dies and the remaining tank has aggro, they'll get hit twice. They'll get hit twice. DPS has aggro, they'll take auto. Yeah, so we figured it out, guys. It's the DPS only takes auto attacks if a tank dies if the DPS has the highest aggro. So like if your off tank, for example, is like never in tank stance and never provoked for any reason, you know, like just basically never in, and then the main tank dies, and the DPS is higher on them than aggro, than a DPS. It's the highest aggro plus a tank. This is the 8-man raid, Earthbound. Leviathan's auto attack the highest aggro plus tank. Well, generally right now, there's not really much of a reason to not have both tanks use tank stance. Most tanks I know are just always permanently in tank stance. Main tank goes first. He'll probably pull aggro first. And then you just shirk. Like, they can even just provoke to get ahead of the other tank. Like, provokes enmity, extra enmity that generates is just, yeah, and then if you're the off tank, you just shirk the main tank unless you need it for a tank swap for any reason, which you really shouldn't, because provoke takes care of all the extra. The only way that becomes an issue is if one tank just has no uptime, and the other tank, or one tank severely outgears the other. It's like the only way anything goes wrong there. Like, when we were doing Titan, I wasn't losing much uptime, so I was pulling aggro back. Yeah, you could also delay the start. You know, it's super easy otherwise. White Mage, very strong. Walrus. The others, people want some adjustments for. They can perform fine and everything. People just want them to be more fun. Alright. Let me get back to writing this. Anyway, now we know the highest attack aggro. If both tanks are alive and have aggro, it's simply both tanks. If one dies and the remaining tank has aggro, they'll get twice. If DPS is aggro, they'll take an auto as well. And then delete this part. Main tank should aim this away from the group. Where's my tank footage? It's my third thing I played here, I think. I mean, all the tanks have a cover your other tank plus room-wide plus raid mitigation ability Orpheus. It's not really any different than what the other tanks have available. Alright, there's Rip Current. Temporary Current aims a super large diagonal AoE at the arena. You'll want to avoid. In the front and back. There's a corner open in the front and back. Depending on which way Leviathan is aiming. Drenching Pulse doesn't always put AoEs on people after it's done. So Drenching Pulse is really just the targeted AoEs, and the other ones are a different thing. Because I've seen Drenching Pulse not aim these AoEs at people right afterwards. These are called Freak Waves. Puts AoEs under party members, and it's often paired with Freak Wave, which puts targeted AoEs on all the players as well. Dodge and spread. See this combo. Well, that's not entirely inaccurate. A lot of Astros have been saying they have to use more GCD heals than the other healers. That's in line with what others are saying, but it's, you know, workable. Tidal Wave. Next up is Tidal Wave. This puts a water spout on the east or west side of the arena that knocks back when it erupts. Knockback can be prevented with immunity skills, but also only knocks about half the distance of the arena. It's usually paired with... Come on, where is it? Usually paired with Undersea Quake. When Leviathan does this, he aims his two heads either along the east and west sides of the platform or the direct center. When the cast finishes, it. We don't know. When the cast finishes, Leviathan will destroy the arena in its path and instantly kill any players caught in it with the fall. When Leviathan will destroy the arena's path and instantly kill any players caught in it with the fall. If I'm not mistaken, this is always out in for this. Like it destroys the outer ones, then destroys the inner ones, then destroys the outer ones, then just constantly repeats. I don't think there's ever a point where it diverges from destroying out, then destroying it. I think it just always alternates, if I recall correctly. This guy, thank you for the 29-month total.
By Mr. Happy to prep me too.
Get some sub happy in the chat, please. Thank you. And of course,
welcome to the Mr. Happy Army.
In Savage, it'll definitely be like, well, I shouldn't say definite. It's most likely random. And repeats indefinitely. Undersea Quake. When just the center of the arena is available, Leviathan will do drenching pulse plus a split damage AoE, followed by Tidal Roar. followed by Tidal Roar. When the sides... Oh, no, it also does Temporary Current. Yeah, the only difference between the center being destroyed and the outside being destroyed in this first half is, in the first half, there's no Tsunami. It's the one he does the split damage AoE if you're in the center and the stack markers if you're spread. And he'll only do Tsunami in the later half when you have the center available. Which probably won't be true in Savage, but it's true for this. Because then when he goes to destroy the outside after Maelstrom, right here, it's Trenching Pulse, spread damage AoE. And then Temporary Current. Yeah, it's really just the spread damage. I mean, there was no Tidal Roar there, I guess. Just 2 Temporary Currents instead of Tidal Roar. And then the arena fixes itself. A Temporary Current. When the sides are split, it'll instead do Drenching Pulse plus Spread plus Freak Waves, followed by 2 Temporary Currents. This changes slightly later in the fight. There you go. Alright, so what I should do is go back here. Because right after the arena fixes itself is Tsunami. The first Undersea Quake, Leviathan will use Tsunami. This does party-wide damage and also marks every player with a debuff. The first debuff to expire will knock players back from the marked player's location. We have this person run forward, knock players backward. To knock, we have this person run forward to the front. Yeah, run forward towards the boss. What's going on, Drixon? Title screener? I don't know. It's a good question. Do I have, is this a good uptime? Do I have a good uptime perspective of this? Yeah, I do. Okay. We have this person run towards, run forward towards the boss. Knock players directly back. This allows melee to go into the hitbox and stay in melee range. Oh, this allows melee who get marked with the knockback to still keep damaging the boss, as opposed to running to the back of the room. There you go. Yeah, that's the main reason why I want to encourage doing it that way. You can see that if you make the person run forward and we get knocked back, then this is really just to the benefit of the marked player. This really only benefits melee ranged players. So you can see like the other tank gets marked with that. If he had to run to the back of the room, he's going to lose uptime. But by doing that, I can follow him, get knocked back slightly, and still keep uptime the whole time as well. I mean, here's the thing. If someone goes to the back of the room and knocks you forward, you're going to keep 100% uptime. So it's really just for the benefit of the person who's being marked. Realistically, a ranged could do the same thing. Like, ranged could go to the back of the room and melees could go to the front. Might as well just mention that. Hi, Drag. Welcome. Yeah, we're working on some Eden normal guides right now, as a matter of fact. First, use debuff to expire will knock players back from knock players' location. Melees can run forward into the boss, and ranged can run forward or back. All players to keep uptime on the boss. There you go. Second debuff to expire is a split damage. Oh, by the way, there's going to be no fucking markers for this in Savage. You're just going to have to look at the durations and know the order they're coming out. I just want you to know that's exactly what's going to happen. I don't think the platform will tilt. I think that they're gonna fuck you way harder when the platforms are here. Alright, let's see. Damage AoE, simple enough. After this, there is a donut AoE and 1-1-5-1. Okay. There's a donut AoE and 4 split damage. 4 spread AoE markers. The donut can stay still if everyone is calm, while the spread damage markers get away from the group and each other. I have way too much coffee for this. What's going on, Catenary? How you doing? Finally, one more knockback debuff will go off. Treat it the same as the first. At this point, I pretty much described the whole fight. Oh no, I guess there is Maelstrom. Maelstrom's really the only remaining mechanic. And then doing Tsunami during the center Undersea Quake. And then from this point on, it just repeats. Well, they're gonna make you do tsunamis probably when the room splits. Like, you'll have 2 people with knockbacks, so you'll have to find a way to, like, knock people, like, in such a way that it doesn't completely fuck them. Because the knockbacks will probably reach all the way across to the other side of the room. I'm doing good, Catenary, just working on some YouTube videos. Final new mechanic is Maelstrom. This simply has Leviathan do a charge AoE that hits half of the room. Do 2 charge AoEs. That hit half the room, one at a time. While the party avoids stepping in puddles that grow in size once. Nothing too special. That's pretty much the last new mechanic. They will make you do Tsunami during... I should check... Well, I mean, Shinryu uses the... Shinryu and Leviathan themselves pretty much use the same thing. Leviathan has puddles on the ground while you dodge AoEs, just that those were player-placed puddles back then. And it was either, you know, in thirds of the arena or half of the arena long. Whereas this one's just straight up half the arena, regardless of the direction. They will make you do Tsunami during the small arena. When only the center of the arena is not destroyed. Which just gives you a bit less room to handle all the debuffs. You can Hermit. It doesn't really matter how many people go to each side as long as people stay alive. You can reach people from the other side of the room too. You just couldn't feasibly AoE them. I am, Enju. Thank you, Genyo, for the Twitch Prime sub. Welcome to a guide making stream. Much appreciated, and, of course.
Welcome to the Mr. Happy
What's up,
Army.
Night Kaiser? Couldn't hurt to suggest it, though. It might help to designate a healer for each side during the split arena receive Quake. Just in case. You know? Eating normal's a lot of fun. Alright, let's go back. I think that's everything, though. Alright, who wants to help me with a fact check here? Oh, there was actually something I wanted to check. I need to check... We had a super long pull on it. Actually, there's a pretty long pull in it here when everyone died. I think we get to the second Maelstrom. No, that's the first one. That's Tsunami. That's the first Maelstrom. That's second Tidal Wave, which is accompanied by the Split Arena. Oh, I should warn people about using gap closers there, because that can get spicy. That sure can get spicy. Also, it actually doesn't alternate. It looks like it did, no, it did out in... No, yeah, no, never mind. Ignore me. It's... Leviathan will make you do Tsunami only when the center of the arena is not destroyed, but just gives you a bit less room to handle all the debuffs. Yeah, which is what we're doing right here. Temporary Current 2. Rip Current. Yeah, I'll probably go back and check the earlier footage. Yeah, Knockback Resistor, I mean, I've been making mention of them when it's feasible. Then there's second Maelstrom. Then another Tidal Roar. Then another Rip Current. Then another Tidal Wave. That splits the arena again. And this is spread markers. Yeah, let me take a look at the first pulls of it to see if there's anything I noticed different. Because I feel like our first few pulls probably went a good bit slower. Oh, maybe not. That looked to be going about the same speed here. This will be how I know. Yeah, we're actually done at about the same place. Anyone know if anything else changes on that, the second time Leviathan splits the arena? Specifically, this moment right here, the second time this happens. Maybe I should go back in and get some more footage of this. Just put together a quick party and let the boss do a full pattern here. Is anything different about the second time this happens? Because I don't have any footage that goes this far into the fight. Like, past this moment. This is the longest pull that I have. And it starts the same, but it doesn't... I'd imagine, what else can Leviathan do here other than... Yeah, no, it repeats, but, so the main reason why I'm even asking is because the second time it does Undersea Quake and leaves only the center open, it's actually completely different from the first time. There's an extra Rip Current, there's a whole Tsunami mechanic done on the smaller arena, there's an extra Tidal Roar. So, I'm worried I'm gonna leave out the... something extra there. Yeah, it's just that the second time that happens, it's different. But I don't think anything different happens Why don't we just go in and figure it out? Why don't we just make a quick group, go in, do shit DPS, and figure it out, huh? Sound like a plan? Alright, who wants to go do shit DPS and Leviathan real quick? Anyone? Alright. Here. Shit. Nah, I can't do that. Bad DPS Leviathan run. Oh, I just realized I still have fucking people in my party. They're on minor. One's AFK though. Alright, let's see. Party finder. What am I doing? Jesus Christ. Party. Party finder. Really make a keybind for that. Bad DPS. Bad DPS to see repeat phases. Alright. Is there a reason why? Yeah, fuck it. Inundation. No! What is all this shit? Just change it back to normal. Reset. Just reset. Just reset the whole thing. Dungeon. No, no, no. Raid. Inundation. Alright. I mean, I can always change role if need be, but let's try that. Alright, so if anyone on Ether wants to come get some extra footage for, well, that's still not technically right. I guess it doesn't matter. I can always adjust it when we get there. If anyone wants to come help get some extra footage for the third fight, Inundation, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm here to listen to the music. Okay, I can respect that. Guide, making guides. I can always change role if need be, but if you're on Ether and you want to do some E3, some Leviathan, we've got pretty much everything open. Oh, you'll be able to join us. How meme do you want? I literally want us to see... I just want to see that entire second split. Pretty much. We're just doing one run real quick. I just want to see that entire second split. So whatever gets us to that point. In other words, pretty fucking memey. Although it's probably going to take us a little bit to fill this. Since I was just working on all the stuff. Melee only. Well, we got one tank and 2 DPS. I can play tank healer or DPS. I don't really care which one I play, to be honest. So, if we can just fill most of these slots, I can always change what I'm playing to get this. I just want to see if I can get this. Oh, I should have thought about that earlier. We let all the other fights drag on. I don't know why I didn't think to let this fight drag on a little bit more. And because we want to deliberately grief our DPS, I can't really just take part of us into the duty finder. Gotta try and get a full 8. Dude, I don't think I used Reprise once when I was playing Gunbreaker, really. I mean, I'm not used to using it. I don't have any tank muscle memory. I mean, if you want them for Glamour, mister, but they're old expansion stuff. Oh, Reprise. Oh, Reprisal. Okay, so that covers the other tank then, Panda. Okay, so we've got both tank spots. We need a healer and 2 DPS or 3 DPS. I can always go White Mage for this. There's anyone on Ether who'd like to come be a part of a YouTube video very quickly. All we're going to do is get Leviathan to like 10% and then stop DPSing. Feels primal, man. Alright, so there's Panda. Just need 3 more. All you primal peeps. All you primal peeps. Oh, sure, no problem, 4 spades. Yeah, so like Leviathan normal, where you just pretend like you just do bad DPS the whole time. I'm calling it my bad DPS run. Yeah, 10% and stop deeps. We just need either 2 DPS and a healer or 3 DPS. And think about the music. Alright, just don't forget about that. Don't forget about the music. Okay. Oh, I need to fill those spots. I'm surprised. It's all DPS, pretty much, that we need. All of them drop Orchestrion rolls. The first two drop Force Your Way, the third one drops the Leviathan theme, and the fourth one drops the Titan theme. I don't really care about the gear, Skeeth. They can DPS till 10%, Solon. And then stop. Yeah, I don't really care what gear I get, Skeeth. I'm just going to replace it all with crafted gear in 2 weeks. I'm going to get the legs just because. I'll probably get a belt, a ring, the legs, and one other thing. Hey, I get to play DPS. Alright, well, we just have 2 DPS spots open now. I like Machinist and Dancy Boy. Dancer is my absolute favorite, but getting some practice on Machinist is not a bad idea. Should really get some practice on Bard too. Password's 1227. Yeah, I've already seen Titan repeat his pattern a million times, so I'm good on him. And there's a DPS, and that leaves one more. Remember, we're up, and there you go. We're all full. Thank you. All right, let me set up the recording, because I forgot that I did all this shit, and now I need to like close it all, and I need to turn my camera off. Internet 2. There you go. All right. Inundation. We get to enjoy these sick beats. I was actually going to swap over to Bard. Whatever. I'll just stay Machinist. Inundation. Means flood. Like I said, they don't usually do major ones in the .01 patches, Ultimus. The most major thing they really did was enmity changes in Stormblood, where they just buffed all the enmity. Other than that, like, potency and duration changes, there were barely any. Ooh, Machinist. Yeah, well, I'm talking about Stormblood Valor. Dude, that heat blasted for like 22k. I'm down. Oh. For some reason, again, Frey just made me think you had a friend with you. Frey always makes me think you have a friend with you. See, I don't mind doing okay DPS until later. You think you're gonna stop these drills? You out of your goddamn mind? It sure is. Leviathan. I'm actually going to use this because I'm afraid it's going to wear off. Leviathan. God, I love hearing the remix here. Oh, wait. I feel like that would have clipped. Well, I mean, it's the same loot system, just, you know, not. You know what I mean. 3, 4, 5. Oh, I lost the combo there. I don't know why. I don't normally lose the combos on those. Feels bad, man. Alright, who got what? I got one of these. Oh, what am I doing? It doesn't matter where I stand, but practicing staying in melee range there, not a bad idea. Oh yeah, I could just stay center here, by the way. There's no reason for the donut person to actually move. There's like really no reason at all. But I know it makes people nervous when they see AoEs in the Duty Finder. Wow, that drill felt pretty good, man. Yeah, it goes off automatically at the end of the duration, Demon. You only do it early if the boss is going to jump, pretty much. Same with the wildfire detonation. That's a lot of people with water debuffs. If you enjoy the fights, you get it in your roulettes boulder. Or if you still want the orchestrion rolls. Oh, the drill. I should have done that instead. Oh! Or the minion, yeah, from the last fight. Solid reason. Whoop. See, we're all on one side, which technically is fine. You just gotta squeeze in extra tight. We should actually all be stacked and then separate. Look at all this room. That is not a thing I want to be a part of up there. That didn't look fun up there. Just looking forward and all I see is just not a good time for anyone. Alright. I'm gonna have to stop DPS soon, but how do you get me off this train? How are you gonna try to make me get off the machinist train? But I need the footage. I need the footage. Think of the footage. Well, I was gonna say, that's one way to make footage work a little bit more. We resummoned Leviathan. And Titan. Alright, I guess I can stop here. Alright, I'm gonna just stop. Fine. I mean, it's my own footage I need it for, so I'm just gonna stop here. Good luck, Leviathan. Yeah, you can. 10% is when you can stop. I'm stopping now. Whee! Oh. Yeah, you gotta be either further back or further. All he did was push us to the side. That was That was murder. That was straight up murder. No, we know none of them have enrages, but I want to see how the pattern cycles. Specifically, want to see how it cycles. Oh, by the way, there's 100% going to be 2 Rip Currents at the same time in Savage. No doubt about that in my mind. Besides, any excuse to listen to the song is a good excuse. You mean 5.2, Elka Batik. It absolutely is, Explosion. Yeah, there's an enrage in the ad phase, but none of the fights have hard enrages on the actual fights. Like, we could sit at 10% here for 45 minutes if we really wanted to. Leviathan. So it's 2 tidal roars here, then a tidal wave, then it'll split the platforms. In a nutshell, Bugatti, we use Eden's own ether to summon primal, to have the Warrior of Light summon primals that resemble the ones we encounter on the first, or on the source, except they're kind of fucked up because we're not really experienced with this whole thing. So, like, for example, we summon Leviathan, we kill Leviathan. Leviathan's ether then leaves Eden and goes to the earth. Yeah, and we're using the dormant ether in the land, too. We're going to places where the ether that's dormant would be most swollen. So that was literally no different, just to be clear. For example, we're in a deep chasm that's been completely removed of all life and water. And we're going to beat Leviathan here, so when Leviathan's ether goes back into the planet, it helps spread the ether elsewhere. Yeah, it's just on repeat. It should be tight. It should be Undersea Quake here. Yep. Alright, I got the footage I needed. Good LB. Solid LB. Alright. Okay, there was actually an LB going off. Hey! Blinding Ind... I hate everything. Yulmore and Mordsuk. That's how... It's funny you know people who skip the cutscenes. Because the cutscene actually tells you where both the NPCs... Well, actually, it only tells you where the Mordsuk one is, if I recall. I don't want to live on this planet anymore. What's going on, Hammer? No, the items are distributed the same. There's just more of them. No, Savage Raids are on the 30th. Shando. All right, thanks for the quick run, guys. It didn't. Nothing new happened, but that's good because now I know nothing new will happen. You trade in the tokens, a set number of tokens for an armor piece at the NPC. Yeah, I mean, you can still only win 1 a week, Phenomical, but 1, 3, and 4 have 6 of the 7 possible drops, and 2 has all 7 of them. Alright, now that we've gotten that footage out of the way, now we can go back to our guide making. Alright, let's see here. Well, the weapon token's guaranteed. That's nothing new. You don't have to roll on that. You just get that. They sure did, so it's none of this shaft bullshit. It's still 4 for a chest piece, but you can get a chest piece from all 4 encounters. I think the only ones that aren't guaranteed, I think, are head, hands, and boots. I think gloves aren't guaranteed from 1. I think head isn't guaranteed from 4, and boots aren't guaranteed from 3. Waist? Really? I can't recall not saying waist is only 1 and 2. Really? I gotta look at that again. Oh, okay, so it's just the belt. Wonder why they did it that way. Why would they make only the belt not available from 3 and 4, and then make the gloves not available from 1? It's weird. Either way, body and legs are available in all of them. Alright, now I gotta get all that shit set up again. What does that have, a helm? 4 only has 5 of the 7 pieces? That's so weird. Why'd they do it like that? That's so fucking weird. Why did they do it like that? Alright, and one more. This one. Okay.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. You can sort of consider this some form of like pseudo coffee time vlog video, whatever you want to call it nowadays. I'm just going to sit and basically talk to you because something happened on stream today, and also the Eden released, and I want to discuss those things. I said on stream, and I provided a bit of criticism towards Eden, where I said, you know, overall I actually felt dissatisfied with what was provided. And then obviously people responded and we had a bit of a discussion surrounding it. However, it felt like a lot of the backlash being provided was coming from like a personal standpoint, where people felt like I was personally attacking stuff and also misunderstood what I was saying regarding my criticism of Eden. So, with that said, I think today what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into a little bit of a discussion surrounding these things, and we'll sort of frame and contextualize it as we go along, okay? Now, first things first, Eden, as I went into it and I did the boss fights, I actually thought was very enjoyable. I thought that the final fight was phenomenal. It was a fantastic reimagining of an old favorite. I thought that the music was stunning. It reminded me of a DMC track, which I absolutely adore because I'm a big fan of DMC. The third boss was kind of boring. It felt like a little bit of a Shinryu skin, almost. I'm assuming in Savage it's going to be much more enjoyable. There's a lot of potential there. And then the second boss and the first boss were fantastic as well. The second boss reminded me a little bit of a WoW fight. If they removed some of the telegraphs on that fight, it would genuinely be like a WoW fight. And also the first boss had a phenomenal transition. However, when I actually think back on it, some of the mechanics for the first boss weren't that interesting, right? It was not too great. All in all, though, I think that the bosses, the 4 bosses that were provided, were good. I think they were high quality. I think the music was fantastic, and I can't wait to do them on Savage. Now, with that said, I still feel dissatisfied with it. And I want to contextualize and frame that. The whole time I've been going through Final Fantasy XIV, I've been playing catch-up, right? I've been going through Final Fantasy XIV, and I've been going through, you know, the A Realm Reborn content, Heaven's War content, Stormblood content,